Ireland has always been a crossroads. Not just an island on the edge of Europe, but a battleground where ambition, belief and survival collided for centuries. Celtic groups formed the earliest societies, leaving traditions that endured long after their time. Viking arrivals introduced new ports and new systems. Norman expansion added fortified sites whose influence spread widely. Civilizations rose, vanished, and left behind traces almost no one truly sees. Yet their mark is still visible in several places today. Charles Fort was built with added defences far beyond what was standard for its period. Ben Bulben exposes rock layers shaped by significant Ice Age pressure, giving it a form unlike anything nearby. At St. Patrick's Sanctuary, the traditional pilgrimage requires every visitor to follow the same actions, producing nearly the same descriptions over many years. Stay with me as we uncover Ireland's most extraordinary wonders, where rare discoveries and forgotten mysteries might change the way you see this country forever. Killarney National Park is the country's first and one of the earliest worldwide to focus on conserving complete ecosystems instead of single species. Its oak forests are among the oldest and most extensive in Western Europe. At sunset, shadows across the park appear to move on their own, a phenomenon locals refer to as the Ghost March. On foggy mornings, mist over its lakes rises in tall columns that early villagers once believed to be spirits moving over them. During clear weather, its still waters reflect the mountains with mirror-like precision. Furthermore, the park's mountains feature limestone pavements typical of karst formations, creating shelves and crevices uncommon elsewhere in the country. Rhododendron plants were introduced in the 19th century, continue to spread rapidly, affecting the growth patterns of native vegetation. The park's woods are also watched over by the only native herd of wild red deer left in Ireland, giants of the forest and mountains. They are the largest land mammals native to the country, with males weighing up to 190 kilograms at peak condition. Their antlers are record-breaking growths that can span almost a metre in width and are shed and regrown every year. This size and strength match their endurance. Red deer can run at speeds approaching 50 kilometers per hour to evade predators or rivals. Social structure adds another layer to the herd, with females leading and maintaining order, while males compete fiercely during rutting season. During the rut, stags roar to assert dominance, sometimes for hours, which can be heard miles away. In these confrontations, antlers become more than weapons, serving as visible displays of fitness and status that signal a male's health to both females and challengers. After a long day of roaming, they often come to Torque Waterfall to bathe and cool off. The falls drop 20 metres over moss-covered rock, creating a steady mist that supports a small but unusual micro-ecosystem. Mosses and ferns around it glow vivid green, thriving in constant moisture where few other plants can survive. Classiebawn Castle was constructed on land that had been confiscated from an Irish family and granted to English loyalists as a reward for suppressing a rebellion. It was not built as a defensive fortress, but as a residence and display of wealth for a British Prime Minister. During later conflicts, the castle served as an army barracks. Hostages were also held there to negotiate prisoner exchanges, giving the site a tense military role, despite its outward appearance as a private estate. At one point, it was reportedly mined with dynamite during unrest, creating a risk of destruction if approached. Today, it remains closed to the public and is under strict security. Just a short distance from the castle, Benbulben stands sharply, its flat summit formed by glacial activity during the Ice Age. The upper layer consists of limestone resting on softer shale and mudstone beneath it. It is one of the few locations where the plant-fringed sandwork continues to grow, surviving since the Ice Age. Benbulben is often called Ireland's Table Mountain because of its level top and steep slopes. According to legend, the warrior Diarmuid is buried at its base after being fatally wounded by a wild boar. Above the valleys, a small and elusive creature adapts perfectly with the harsh terrain, master of survival in these tough upland places, the mountain hares. They have thick white winter coats that camouflage them in snow, switching to brown-grey in summer to blend with heather and rocks. They can leap impressively far and sprint at high speeds to escape predators, often zigzagging to confuse attackers. Known for their solitary and nocturnal behaviour, mountain hares also mainly feed on grasses, berries, and heather, a routine that suits the limited food options at higher elevations. The Sanctuary of St Patrick, also called St Patrick's Purgatory, is a pilgrimage site on Station Island in Lough Derg Lake, County Donegal. Experts say the site dates to the 5th century, when Christ revealed a cave on the island believed to be an entrance to purgatory. It was described as a pit or well, where St. Patrick reportedly experienced visions of hell, demonstrating the afterlife to those who doubt it. Pilgrims observe a strict ritual, including confession, communion, and a 24-hour vigil inside the cave, facing symbolic trials of penance and purification. A monastery was established decades after, under the saint's guidance. Despite attempts to close or suppress the site, it remains one of the area's longest-standing pilgrimage destinations. The Dingle Peninsula in County Kerry has been continuously inhabited since the Mesolithic period. It is one of Ireland's richest archaeological regions, where prehistoric monuments, ring forts, Ogham stones and megalithic tombs have been uncovered. Two major mountain ranges dominate the peninsula, the Slieve Mish in the east and the Brandon Group to the northwest. Despite years of invasion, the area is left almost unchanged and preserved its Gaelic identity, language, and rural lifestyle. Its weather is famously unpredictable, with rapid shifts that create changing light and mood across the region. Dunmore Head is the edge of this peninsula and the westernmost point of the mainland. The coastline includes rock formations such as the Devil's Horns, twin peaks formed by constant Atlantic winds. The site was an important reference point for sailors navigating difficult coastal waters, guiding them towards safer inlets further east. When the cliffs are not visible in poor weather, sailors often spot razorbills instead because their plumage stands out against the sea and rocks. These wing species are adapted for both flying and diving, with compact bodies and strong wings that let them travel quickly in the air and plunge nearly 100 feet to catch fish. Their thick beaks, marked with a white line, allow them to hold several fish at once and carry them back to their chicks without dropping them. They nest on narrow ledges, in crevices or under boulders, usually laying a single egg directly on bare rock or on a small scrape of pebbles. Chicks leave the nest before they can fly, jumping from the ledge into the sea, while the father guides and protects them. Razorbills then return to the same nesting spots each year, and often keep the same partner, forming long-term pairs. Outside the breeding season, they spend most of their time at sea feeding in coastal waters, but they stay close to shore during nesting months. The birds also act as markers along the Slee Head Drive, a steep 30-mile route on the Dingle Peninsula, indicating that travellers are approaching some of the area's popular sites. One of them is Cashel Murphy, an old Celtic stone settlement, enclosed by thick dry stone walls forming a fortified cashel. The site contains 5 interconnected, beehive-shaped stone dwellings, each once home to an extended family. The stone huts had stone roofs originally, which have collapsed, but the walls remain well preserved. Inside the enclosure is an underground souterrain, a narrow tunnel used for food storage, and possibly as a refuge during attacks. Archaeologists believe the community at Cashel Murphy practiced early Celtic rituals that later mixed with Christian traditions. Another recognisable site nearby is Dingletown, a fishing port unique in Kerry for receiving a royal charter that allowed it to self-govern and build defensive walls. During medieval times, it served as the main embarkation point for pilgrimages to Santiago de Compostela in Spain. By the 16th century, Dingles Harbour was busy with Spanish and French ships and became one of Ireland's most active Atlantic ports. Its street layout still preserves medieval burgage plots, long, narrow lots once used by merchants during its trading peak. Burrishoole Abbey is a Dominican friary founded in 1469 by a powerful local lord who later became a monk there. The site was originally built without papal permission and was officially recognised nearly 2 decades later by Pope Innocent VIII. Its founder resigned his lordship to live here until his passing. The abbey sits beside the tidal estuary of Clew Bay, with ruins that include a nave, chancel, belfry, chapel, and cloister remnants. It survived the dissolution of the monasteries and was later fortified by English soldiers during turbulent times, even serving as a military base. Nearby graves and a cemetery remain in use, with some tombstones inside the church walls dating back to the early 1600s. Giant's Causeway is a formation of about 40,000 interlocking hexagonal basalt columns and forms part of a larger coastal area with similar features, including sea stacks and caves. The columns formed as lava cooled and contracted, creating a pattern similar to cracks in drying mud, but on a much larger scale. Folklore, however, attributes the causeway to Finn McCool, a giant who built it to challenge a Scottish rival named Benandana. He is said to have disguised himself as a baby to trick Benandana into fleeing back to Scotland, tearing apart the causeway as he retreated. Erosion has exposed ball and socket joints at the bases of some columns, allowing slight movement while keeping the formation stable. The site has long fascinated scientists and geologists, contributing to the understanding of how volcanic rock cools. Ardmore is a small fishing village on the southern coast and one of the country's oldest Christian settlements, believed to have been founded by St Declan in the early 5th century. Its name means high place, referring to its elevated position overlooking the sea. At the centre, the Ardmore Round Tower stands about 30 metres tall and served both as a bell tower and a refuge for monks and valuable manuscripts during Viking raids and other conflicts. Locals say it used to ring so loud that it could be heard 8 miles away, summoning monks and warning villagers of danger. Its doorway sits over 4 metres above the ground, accessible only by ladder, designed to protect those inside during attacks. The tower still bears marks from a 1642 siege during the Confederate Wars, with musket ball damage visible on its western side. The Cliffs of Moher are towering sea cliffs on the west coast of Clare, composed mainly of shale and sandstone. Their rock displays a formation called jointing, where stress fractures create mesmerising geometric patterns. Underwater forests and bogs nearby are believed to be remnants of the fabled lost city of Kilstiffen, said to rise from the sea every 7 years. The cliffs also appear in several films, including Harry Potter and The Half-Blood Prince, where they stand in for the fictional Slughorn's Wharf. According to Irish folklore, the Mermaid of Moher tells the story of a local man who captures a mermaid's magical cloak, leading to tragic consequences. They are believed to be the influence behind local wind currents as well, often making navigation by boat dangerous even in calm weather. No one knows the true story except the Atlantic puffins standing on the sheer cliffs while they judge the world with their curious, colourful faces. Their beaks change colour with the seasons, turning orange and blue during breeding season and fading to grey in winter. They flap their small wings incredibly fast, up to 400 beats per minute, allowing them to dart with agility, both in the air and underwater. These birds nest in colonies along the rocky edges, digging burrows in soft soil or occupying rabbit holes to protect their eggs from predators. When perched atop branches or stones, they often hunch and pivot, as if judging human visitors, giving them an expression both comical and slightly regal. They are also skilled fishers. Their notched beaks can hold up to 10 fish at once, while still opening to catch more. Donegal Castle is a round tower house near the coastal village of Doolin in County Clare, built close to an earlier fort used by the O'Connor family. It was made mainly from sandstone quarried just a few kilometres away at Flaggy Beach. In 1588, survivors of a shipwrecked Spanish Armada vessel were captured and hanged either at the castle or on a nearby hill called Hangman's Hill. The building originally had 4 floors and a cellar with a rare beehive vault between the first and second. Its doorway was protected by a machicellation, a structure used to drop stones or boiling liquids on attackers. Over time, the castle fell into disrepair, but was restored twice. Although it is privately owned and closed to the public, it remains a popular subject for photographers, especially at sunset with the ocean in the background. Cashel is a market town in County Tipperary, known as the City of the Kings, for its long connection to the rulers of Munster. Over time, it grew into a major religious and political centre. Its aged walls once enclosed the settlement with 5 main gates, including St John's and Friargate. In 1647, the massacre of Cashel took place when Protestant forces under Lord Inchiquin retook the town, eliminating many civilians and clergy. The Rock of Cashel is tied to many events in early Irish history. It is said to have formed when the devil took a bite out of a mountain called the Devil's Bit and spat out the piece, creating this limestone outcrop. The site began in the 4th or 5th century as a royal centre for the Eoganacta dynasty. Its buildings show Irish construction methods, alongside elements seen in parts of Europe, such as German and English details in towers and arches. Recent restoration work has focused on protecting the frescoes and stabilising the buildings against moisture and weather damage. The cathedral's acoustics were designed to carry chants and hymns clearly through the interior. Crypts beneath parts of the complex were used for burials of clergy and royalty, with some areas still not fully explored by archaeologists. Hoare Abbey is a Cistercian monastery located west of the Rock of Cashel and was the last of its kind, built before the Reformation. It was originally used by Benedictine monks, but the local archbishop removed them and brought in the Cistercians, likely due to disagreements at the time. The abbey includes a Gothic church in a cross layout, a square cloister, living quarters, and a later tower, with many parts remaining visible, even though the site is now a ruin. After the monasteries were dissolved, the chancel became a parish church for a short time, and some buildings were converted into houses. Loophead Cliffs sit at the end of a peninsula, bordered by the Atlantic on one side and the Shannon Estuary on the other. The headland supports large seabird colonies, which have made it a focus for bird watching and conservation work. Fog can rise suddenly from the sea, confusing travellers walking near the edges. Rock folds along the cliffs are unusual enough that scientists study them to understand how the supercontinent Pangaea formed. Local stories mention a phantom ship, said to appear during heavy fog. At night, conditions sometimes reveal phosphorescent plankton glowing in the waves. A coastal route eventually leads to Loophead Lighthouse, built in the 1800s on the foundations of an even older signal tower. The structure uses one of the last original Fresnel lenses still operating in the state. It is also among the few Irish lighthouses built with a vaulted lantern rim ceiling, a design that reduces condensation and keeps the beam clear. The keeper's residence later served as a discreet meeting point for coordinating assistance to Allied convoys, avoiding U-boat activity. In the early 1900s, the lighthouse functioned as a testing site for new foghorn systems, including compressed air and steam-powered models. By the 1950s, it became one of the first in the country to transmit radio weather reports directly to fishing crews. During extreme weather, staff occasionally reinforced the tower's windows to withstand waves that rose nearly to the height of the lantern. Nearby northern lapwings perform acrobatic flights, with their calls carrying over the coastal wetlands. These are medium-sized waders with black and white plumage and a crest of long feathers on their head. They forage on wet meadows, probing soft soil for insects, worms and larvae, and often wash their feathers in shallow water to remove parasites. Lapwings build simple ground scrapes for 3 to 4 speckled eggs and defend their nests with rattling calls and aggressive dives at intruders. During the mating season, the rattling call is often combined with noisy aerial movements to establish territory and attract mates. The head crest varies by individual and can be raised or flattened depending on mood or situation. These birds are highly social, forming large flocks and mixing with other species across wetlands and farmland, which provides protection and enhances feeding efficiency. Loher Ring Fort is a restored stone fort on the Iverach Peninsula in Kerry that functioned as a defended farmstead for a wealthy family. The circular fort measures 22 metres in diameter, with walls about 2.5 metres high and 1 metre thick, sloping inward for stability. Inside, foundations of rectangular and circular houses, storage pits and hearths indicate a self-sustaining early medieval community. Recent studies also suggest underground tunnels may have connected Loher to nearby forts, possibly for secret movement or escape. Visitors can reach the site via an 80-metre trail and explore the full interior area. Trim is a market town on the banks of the River Boyne in County Meath. Its name comes from Ath Truim, meaning the ford of the elder trees, referring to a river crossing. The town developed around this crossing, which was important for transportation and commerce, before modern bridges and roads were built. Trim Castle, located in the town, is the largest Anglo-Norman castle in the country and took over 30 years to build. It features a defensive curtain wall nearly 450 metres long, along with moats, ditches and multiple towers, both rectangular and rounded. The castle was used as a filming location for the movie Braveheart. Faint graffiti inside shows marks left by builders and residents over the centuries. Legends claim that buried treasure lies beneath the foundations, though repeated searches have never found it. Another known site in the town is St Mary's Abbey, founded by the Augustinian order on an earlier monastic location. The abbey became an important religious centre in the area, recognised for its scholarship and spiritual influence. It included a large church, dormitories, cloisters, and a tall bell tower known as the Yellow Steeple, which remains a visible ruin today. The abbey suffered damage and looting during conflicts, including the dissolution of the monasteries. Its archives document involvement in local governance and show disputes over land and tithes. Rotten Island Lighthouse is a granite tower located off Johns Point in County Donegal. Construction of the lighthouse cost over £8,800, a large sum at the time. During the project, 3 workers tragically lost their lives. The lighthouse was automated in 1959, replacing manual operations with modern technologies such as acetylene-based mantle lamps. Its original oil lamps and catoptric reflectors were later replaced with Fresnel lenses as technology advanced. Keepers lived in isolated conditions, enduring harsh winters to keep the light operational. Leap Castle in County Offaly is one of the oldest and most haunted castles from the 15th century. It became the principal seat of the powerful O'Carroll clan for centuries. The building was attacked and besieged multiple times in the 16th century, including attempts to seize it in 1514 and 1516. Inside, it contains a bloody chapel, a brutal oubliette torture chamber on the upper floors. Field researchers discovered 3 carts full of human bones beneath this chamber. The Burren is known for its unique geology and the mix of Arctic, alpine and Mediterranean plants growing side by side. This combination occurs in a glaciocast area, where ice and chemical erosion have acted together over time. As a result of the thin soil and rocky terrain, farming was difficult, which led to conflicts over limited arable land during the Bronze Age. The region also became the setting for myths and legends, including stories of warriors and fairy forts scattered across the hills. Limestone pavements in the area form clints and grikes, crevices that create microhabitats for rare mosses and ferns. In addition, Dry stone walls form a patchwork across the terrain, providing shelter and nesting sites for birds and insects. One resident is the common buzzard, a powerful raptor with broad wings adapted for soaring on thermals, often seen hovering motionless while searching for prey. These birds use a distinctive rocking motion when perched, subtly shifting their weight back and forth, possibly for balance or alertness. When seeking prey, they sometimes walk awkwardly away to flush out movement or appear less noticeable. Their strong hooked beak moves rapidly as they tear through captured animals, demonstrating skilled feeding mechanics. They can pursue animals on foot when targets are scarce, stalking rodents and insects with surprising agility. Buzzards feed on a wide variety of creatures, including small mammals, birds, reptiles, and carrion, and they sometimes steal food from other raptors. Their keen eyesight allows them to detect movement from high above, and their soaring flight conserves energy while systematically scanning the ground below. Carlingford is a coastal town known for its well-preserved streets and early Norse connections. The settlement began with Norse inhabitants who used the lough as a base for raiding and trading. It acted as a gateway between Gaelic Ulster and the English Pale, becoming a centre of political activity. Later, the economy shifted toward tourism. Carlingford also served as a significant market town, hosting fairs and trade events that drew people from nearby counties. Bantry Bay is a sheltered inlet on the southwest coast once controlled by the O'Sullivan family, who collected fishing taxes. In 1689, a French fleet carrying 7,000 soldiers, weapons and funds arrived here during the Williamite War. The bay was also the location of the failed 1796 French invasion attempt, which was scattered by severe storms. Pilchard fishing became a major industry in the 1700s, attracting English merchants and leading to the use of mechanical presses for fish oil. The area is known for its complex tides and waters, factors that contributed to its value as a naval anchorage. Bantry Town at the head of the inlet holds a long-running market and acts as an access point for travel into West Cork and nearby islands. The coastline includes cliffs and glacially carved inlets, a transition that leads inland toward archaeological sites such as the Drombeg Stone Circle. This site, known locally as the Druids' Altar, is a Bronze Age stone circle. It consists of 17 standing stones arranged in a ring, with a large recumbent stone positioned on the southwest side. Excavations uncovered cremated remains of a child and broken pottery in a pit near the centre, indicating use for ritual burial. The stones align northeast to southwest and track the setting sun during solstices, showing a clear astronomical purpose. Nearby are traces of a Bronze Age hut and a cooking pit, forming part of a wider occupied area. The pit also held traces of herbs that may have been burned during ceremonies, a detail that connects the site to later estates such as Bantry House. This structure is a Georgian mansion located near Bantry town. Originally called Blackrock House, it was owned and expanded by the White family, who later became the Earls of Bantry. Its architecture combines 18th and 19th century elements, and the gardens were planned after the owners travelled in Europe. The mansion is still privately owned by its descendants and has welcomed visitors since the mid-20th century. Mount Errigal is the tallest peak in County Donegal, rising 751 metres, known for its quartzite rock that gives it a pointed profile visible across the region. It forms part of the Derryveigh Mountains and is the southernmost of the Seven Sisters Range, long referenced in local stories and studies of the area's geology. Its surface reflects a pink hue at sunset. Errigal lies within a special area of conservation that includes blanket bog and alpine heath supporting threatened species. Dunluath is a Gaeltacht town at the foot of Mount Errigal. The Poisoned Glen in the village is a well-known valley tied to folklore involving the giant Baila, whose death is said to have given the place its name. The Church of the Sacred Heart near it is a Gothic revival church completed in 1853 as a memorial to James Russell. Built using local white marble and blue quartzite, it earned the nickname Donegal Taj Mahal. Although partially roofless, its walls are well preserved. From the hill near the church, golden plovers can be observed performing aerial stunts over the alpine heath, with their gold and black plumage matching the upland terrain. Their flute-like calls carry across the area, marking breeding territories in spring and summer. The species uses a broken wing distraction to draw predators away from ground nests. Eggs are speckled and blend easily among heather, helping them survive in exposed upland settings. During winter, they gather in large groups and often mix with other waders for improved feeding efficiency and awareness of threats. Their long crest feathers play a role in species recognition and courtship signalling. Individuals often stand on rocks scanning for insects and worms, showing notable patience while feeding. While plovers rise over the hills, the European pine marten moves through nearby forests, known for its dark brown fur and yellow throat patch. Pine martens are agile climbers that use flexible bodies and semi-retractable claws to hunt squirrels, birds, insects and fruits across treetops and forest floors. They have large eyes and rounded ears that support excellent night vision and hearing for nocturnal activity. Moreover, they maintain solitary territories marked with scent and only meet briefly during mating periods. Their diet shifts with the seasons, relying more on berries and nuts when prey becomes limited, and switching back to small mammals in colder months. Observers sometimes see them staying still on branches or logs while watching for movement on the ground. They also play an important ecological role by reducing grey squirrel numbers, helping native species recover in Irish woodlands. Cobh is a seaport on Great Island in Cork Harbour, known for mass emigration during the 19th and 20th centuries. Originally called the Cove, it was renamed Queenstown to honour Queen Victoria's visit, and later returned to its original name after independence. Between 1848 and 1950, about 2.5 million people departed from here, making it one of the world's key emigration ports. The central square features a memorial to victims of the Lusitania tragedy who are buried locally. Quays and docks once built and repaired ships, important to the local economy before tourism became the primary focus. The area is also known for festivals, fishing, and seafood markets, maintaining an active seafaring community. St Colman's Cathedral dominates its skyline. Construction began in 1868 and continued for over 50 years, with the spire reaching 91.4 metres. It is dedicated to Saint Colman of Cloyne, a 6th century bishop called the Poet Saint, who helped establish the religion in the region. The bell tower functions as a lookout point for approaching ships. The Arran Islands are 3 limestone islands at the mouth of Galway Bay that have been continuously inhabited. Because the ground lacked topsoil, early settlers created farmland by mixing seaweed with sand and building long dry stone walls for protection. Their isolation helped keep the Irish language widely spoken and supported the continuation of crafts such as Aran knitting. The islands also contain 7 stone forts, including Dun Aungasa, the largest prehistoric one in Europe. It sits on a 100-metre cliff edge on Innis Moor. The earliest fortifications consisted of roughly 2-metre thick walls built from piled rubble and upright stones, later expanded into triple walls over 6 metres thick. Its name comes from Aongus, a chieftain believed to have ruled the islands. The site includes a chevaux de frise, a field of sharp limestone spikes designed to slow or injure anyone approaching on foot. The area also supports coastal habitats, where native reptiles such as a slow worm can be found. These are legless lizards often mistaken for snakes, found in grasslands and woodlands. They have smooth, glossy scales and can live for more than 30 years in the wild, which is unusually long for a lizard. Slow worms prefer sheltered spots, frequently hiding under rocks, logs and compost heaps, while they hunt slugs, worms and snails using quick tongue flicks to detect prey. Unlike snakes, they have eyelids and can blink, and they can shed their tails to escape predators. Females are usually brown with darker sides, while males tend to be greyer, though the differences can be subtle. When the tail is dropped, it does not grow back to its full original length. Newgrange is a large passage tomb in the Boyne Valley, built during the Neolithic period. The site is aligned so that at sunrise on the winter solstice, light enters the main chamber and highlights the carvings inside. Spirals, zigzags, and other geometric patterns are carved into curbstones set around the mound. The entrance is marked by large decorated stones, including the well-known entrance stone, engraved with complex motifs. Some of the building stones came from distant locations, suggesting that early builders transported materials across long routes. Researchers have proposed that Newgrange may have been used for seasonal gatherings and fertility rites. It formed part of a wider complex with the nearby tombs of Noth and Douth, establishing the Boyne Valley as a significant Neolithic site. Hook Lighthouse is one of the oldest operational lighthouses in the world, located on a peninsula. Monks originally maintained the warning light by keeping an open fire burning for sailors navigating the hazardous coastline. Over time, the lighthouse received several upgrades, including the installation of a first-order Fresnel lens to extend its visibility and range. Its light source evolved from coal to whale oil lamps, then to gas illumination, and eventually to full electrification. A manual clockwork mechanism rotates the light, and keepers once had to wind it at regular intervals. Its position at the tip of the peninsula helped guide ships entering Waterford Harbour, which was historically one of the country's busiest ports. Crianan of Ailech is a large circular stone fort, built with thick dry stone walls, arranged in near-perfect concentric lines. Its construction uses tightly linked stone slabs, allowing the structure to withstand strong winds. The fort functioned as a base for regional kings and clans, used for gatherings, defence and territorial control. Its elevated position offers long-distance visibility across several counties, which makes it useful for signal fires and monitoring movement. Entry is controlled through narrow gateways designed to slow or limit access during conflict. Inside is a single open courtyard where wooden buildings once stood, now marked only by their foundations. Cork began as a monastic settlement and later developed into a bustling port city. It played a notable role during the Wars of the Roses and earned the nickname the Rebel City for its opposition to English rule. The River Lee splits into two channels, creating several islands that form the city centre. Its hospital and other facilities have made the city a key medical hub for the region. The Lee navigation system predates major canal works and once supported commercial transport along the river. Moreover, Cork granite was widely exported and used in various British construction projects. Its quays also participated in early transatlantic trade, long before colonial ventures expanded. Blarney Castle is a stone fortress best known for the Blarney Stone, set into its battlements and linked to a long-standing legend, granting eloquence to those who kiss it. Its grounds include several distinct garden areas, including the Poison Garden and the Rock Close. The fortification still shows defensive features such as arrow slits and murder holes. The remains also include a dungeon and cisterns that once supplied water for occupants. Visitors reach the stone through narrow staircases and lean backward over an opening, with staff assistance, to complete the customary kiss. Mizzen Head's promontory formed from volcanic activity over sedimentary rocks. A signal station stands on the promontory, equipped with a foghorn system that once operated continuously for up to 48 hours during thick fog. The bridge leading to the station was built to withstand massive Atlantic storm surges. Ships passing nearby sometimes recorded magnetic disturbances in the area. Early marine charts refer to the site as the Land's End Watch. The station's beacon systems were among the first to use electric lamps, replacing oil. Caves along the headland were used for smuggling and covert trade. Corcomroe Abbey is a Cistercian monastery that features early Gothic pointed arches and ribbed vaulting, unusual for rural Ireland. It contains carvings of mythical creatures and grotesques on capitals and corbels. The chapter house was designed with acoustics suited for chanting and assembly. Its burial ground contains stones inscribed with both Latin and early Gaelic script. The refectory floor was tiled with locally sourced dogtooth limestone. Lough Key is a large freshwater lake with over 40 islands of different sizes and compositions. McDermott Castle Island sits at the centre of the lake and contains the ruins of a tower house built on earlier ecclesiastical foundations. It served as a stronghold for local clans, controlling access across the lake and nearby land routes. Stone defensive walls encircle the island, with some sections submerged or collapsed into the water. The lake around the island supports a variety of aquatic plants, including rare pondweeds. Mallard ducks are common in the area, often seen nesting among reeds and feeding along the shores. These ducks are among the most widespread waterfowl species, adaptable to a variety of freshwater habitats worldwide. Males have iridescent green heads, separated from brown bodies by white neck rings. Females display mottled brown plumage that provides camouflage. They are dabbling ducks, feeding mainly on the water surface, or by tipping forward to forage underwater. Breeding nests are built in dense vegetation near water and lined with down feathers for insulation. Hatchlings are precocial and can swim and feed shortly after leaving the nest. Their flight call is a characteristic quack, often heard in flocks over wetland areas. Kerry cliffs are composed primarily of sandstone and shale. Strong Atlantic winds force cliff wildflowers to grow compact and twisted. Underwater caves at the cliff base shelter brittle starfish, sea anemones, and rare cold water corals. The cliff's edges show karst formations with sinkholes and fissures. Locals say there are islands visible only in certain seasons, believed to vanish in mist. Cliffside paths have been used for centuries to harvest seabird eggs balanced in crevices. The Kerry Cliffs lie close to the Cahergul Ring Fort. This structure features double stone walls, with its entrance deliberately offset, forcing anyone entering to turn sharply and slow down before passing through. It lacks conventional gates, relying instead on the thickness and height of its walls for defence. Inside, raised hearth platforms were used to control fire without risking structural damage. Overlapping dry stone walls form hidden spaces that may have been used to store perishables or weapons. There is also evidence of animal pens within the walls. Belfast is the country's capital city that developed rapidly as a maritime and industrial hub, primarily through shipbuilding and linen production. It was the site where one of the largest ships ever built, known for its advanced engineering, was constructed. The city's river flows into a harbour that enabled extensive international trade. Belfast played a key role as a supply and repair centre during multiple global conflicts. The city's peace walls were originally meant as temporary barriers, but remain symbols of complex social divisions. The Titanic Quarter is a redeveloped area on the former Harland and Wolff shipyards where the Royal Mail ship Titanic was built. It hosts museums and exhibitions detailing maritime history and the shipyard's technological innovations. Castle Roche is one of the few Irish castles that still has a working well within its walls. Its curtain walls vary in thickness, designed to adapt to the terrain and possible siege tactics. Archaeologists discovered ash layers near the site, indicating past battles or deliberate burning. Clan chieftains used the castle to display power and assert territorial claims. During periods of peace, the castle functioned as a centre of local justice. The Hellfire Club is a stone hunting lodge on Montpellier Hill, built with thick walls and a rooftop turret. It became known for secretive gatherings, rumoured to involve elite members of society. There were once reports of black masses, devil worship, and strange noises heard at night. Inside the lodge sits a large stone table, thought to have been used for meetings or rituals. Nearby, skeletal remains and animal bones have been discovered, though their origins remain unclear. Kinvara is a small fishing and farming village on Galway Bay. The village retains cobblestone streets and colourful houses. Its harbour accommodates both fishing boats and visiting yachts. The local economy relied on herring and shellfish harvests, especially oysters. Kinvara has been used as a filming location for Irish language films and documentaries on rural life. It is also famous for Dungair, a 4-storey tower house beside the bay. Its battlemented roof with corner turrets was built to oversee and control both sea approaches and inland routes. Inside it retains stone fireplaces, spiral staircases, and vaulted ceilings. Dungair hosted banquets that reenacted Irish feasts, reviving old customs. Its name, meaning Fortress of the Hounds, reflects its hunting associations. Furthermore, the castle has long attracted poets, artists and writers drawn to its romantic setting. Connemara's peatlands act as carbon sinks, capturing atmospheric carbon and contributing to climate regulation. The area supports one of the few extensive populations of red deer in western upland habitats. Its marine terraces provide fossil evidence of interglacial sea levels and climate shifts. Connemara's mountain range includes several quarry lakes formed by glacial erosion, which function as freshwater reservoirs. Granite quarried from Connemara has been used in international monuments because of its durability and distinctive colour. Bog oaks found in the area have been preserved underwater, offering timber specimens for dendrochronological studies. Nearby, the Valley of Kylemore contains rare alpine plant species surviving outside typical mountain zones. This site is a large, castle-like estate, featuring neo-Gothic architecture, constructed from local rocks. It was originally a private mansion and was later converted into an abbey, housing a community of Benedictine nuns. The abbey sits beside a man-made lake, incorporating water features into the estate's design. Gardens on the estate include a Victorian walled garden, adapted from earlier agricultural uses. The chapel, on the other hand, features mosaics and stained glass windows with detailed religious iconography. Doe Castle is a coastal tower house in County Donegal, positioned near a tidal estuary. It stands on an irregular rock outcrop, protected by water on several sides. The structure features thick protective walls and a square bawn that encloses a courtyard. Within the building, a stone-vaulted cellar was used for food storage and may have also held prisoners. The tower was originally equipped with a wooden hoarding, a temporary upper gallery, which enhanced defence during sieges. The chapel remains include carved grave slabs with heraldic symbols linked to the clan. Kilclooney Dolmen is a portal tomb featuring a massive capstone supported by upright stones, balanced precisely. The capstone, weighing several tons, rests seemingly impossibly on the slender supports. Originally, the dolmen's chamber was covered by a long earthen mound, which has since eroded. The entrances are aligned roughly toward the southeastern horizon. Excavations have uncovered burnt bones and pottery shards, pointing to its use for funerary or ceremonial purposes. There has also been a folklore that says the stones were set by giants to trap spirits beneath them. Limerick lies on the River Shannon, the longest river in Ireland. The city has a strong literary tradition and has produced internationally recognised writers. Its old marketplaces were organised to separate local crafts and improve trade efficiency. Limerick was an important centre for lace making, which influenced women's labour patterns for generations. King John's Castle sits at a bend in the river, controlling access as both a military lookout and customs post. The structure's stonework includes rare blocks transported from distant quarries using horse-drawn sledges. Inside the Great Hall, evidence of large-scale feasting can be seen, including animal bones from exotic species. To protect the structure, the battlement walkways were built with drainage systems that prevent flooding. Over time, the firing slits were widened to accommodate changes in firearm technology. Nearby Dromore Castle complemented the site's defences, forming part of a regional network. It is a fortified Norman stronghold with rounded towers that feature defensive machicolations for dropping projectiles on attackers. The site was besieged multiple times, and evidence of cannon impacts and repairs is visible in the stonework. It has a 4-storey main tower, with ancillary buildings added later to expand defence and provide residence. The interior rooms were multifunctional, including lodging, storage and guard posts. There were rumours of secret tunnels connecting it to neighbouring estates, which were reportedly used for smuggling. The Hill of Tara is a complex of earthworks, including burial mounds, ceremonial enclosures, and standing stones spread across a plateau. It functioned as a royal centre, where kings were inaugurated and major assemblies took place. The layout aligns with solar and lunar events, connecting the structures to celestial movements. lawyers are recorded to have gathered here to meet and pass judgment. At the summit stands the Lia File stone, used in kingly inaugurations and said to roar under a true ruler. It is a large standing stone located at the summit of the Hill of Tara. Known as the Stone of Destiny, it was central to the rituals of royal inauguration. Folklore says the stone could roar or cry out when touched by the rightful king. The stone's surface bears weathered carvings, possibly symbols or inscriptions. Its origin is debated, with hypotheses ranging from a glacial erratic to a deliberately transported megalith. The Slieve area served as a refuge for rebels and outlaws during various Irish conflicts. Caves of Whispers in the region were used for secret meetings in the dark. Its harsh weather and isolation helped preserve the Irish language and customs longer than in other areas. It also acted as a lookout for invading ships, with signal fires lit along ridgetops to warn inland communities. Wild hounds were said to roam the moors, possibly linked to rare feral dogs or wolves in earlier centuries. A chain of small fortifications once ringed the coast to guard against raids. It served as a marker for Viking raiders navigating the northwest coast, often used to time landings and retreats. An invisible cliff dweller spirit was said to protect coastal travellers from storms, appearing only on foggy nights. Condemned prisoners were abandoned or executed here during regional disputes. Fishermen left carved marks on the rock faces for navigation and as protection charms. The base of the headland was occasionally used for kelp burning. Caves in the area were used by pirates to stash loot, though no treasure has ever been confirmed. Teelin on the Slieve League Peninsula, along the Atlantic coast, hosts Ireland's oldest operational fish market, where fishing practices continue. The area was once a centre for curragh boat building, using hazel and ash woods. Located off the coast is Tormore, a small uninhabited island important for seabirds. Vegetation is sparse, consisting of coastal grasses and hardy shrubs. Its rock formations are similar to those on the mainland, with visible sediment layers. There is no fresh water source and no permanent human settlement, although the surrounding seas are known for fishing cod and haddock. Malin Beg is a small coastal settlement on the peninsula, consisting of a few houses, farms and grazing lands. Sheep farming is common, adapted to the poor, rocky soils. Cottages with thatched roofs remain alongside modern dwellings. Limited road access keeps the area isolated and helps preserve its ecosystems. The region is included in a special area of conservation, protecting habitats and rare species. Below the settlement lies Silver Strand Beach, known for its white sands and surf. Dun Fort, a ring fort, overlooks the lake in a catchment basin among hills. It supports aquatic plants, including reeds and sedges, adapted to shallow water. Additionally, it receives inflows from several small streams running down the hillsides. Common lizards thrive on the warm rocky outcrops near the lake and fort, using small crevices for shelter. This reptile has smooth, shiny scales and moves with slow, deliberate crawling motions. It flicks its tongue to gather chemical cues from the environment, helping it detect prey. Unlike snakes, it has movable eyelids and blinks regularly. It hibernates during winter, often under logs or in soil crevices. When threatened, it can detach its tail, which continues to wriggle to distract predators. Its skin sheds regularly in patches, sometimes leaving scales hanging loosely before complete renewal. Cahir is a market settlement on the River Suir that grew around a bridge crossing the river, which was vital for commerce and travel. It became a hub for annual fairs, attracting traders from nearby counties to buy and sell cattle and produce. Population levels fluctuated over time, influenced by agricultural cycles and famine relief efforts. Several mills along the river powered industry and textile production, supporting the local economy. Markets focused on trading sheep, horses and grain, while weaving and blacksmithing provided key occupations for residents. Dominating the settlement, Cahir Castle remains one of the best preserved castles in Ireland. It is a large rectangular structure surrounded by a river moat. It was built atop an earlier wooden fort with walls reaching up to 5 meters thick to withstand artillery fire. A drawbridge once controlled access over the moat, strengthening its defences. Over time, the fortress sustained damage during conflicts but was repaired and expanded by successive owners. Clew Bay, on the west coast, is known for its unusually smooth waters. Within it, there are around 90 small islets called drumlins. Salt marsh plants such as sea plantain and glasswort grow along the shores, thriving despite regular submersion and high salinity. Wooded areas around the bay provide habitat for Eurasian blue tits, which forage along the edges of gardens and woodlands. These winged animals have vivid blue crowns and yellow breasts, their colours enhanced by microscopic feather structures that reflect light. They move swiftly through branches, hopping and making short flights, often hanging upside down to reach food. During winter, they frequently visit bird feeders, favouring sunflower seeds and suet. These birds handle food with remarkable precision, pecking and manipulating insects or seeds skillfully. Occasionally, they wash food in water before eating. Their top crest feathers can be raised to communicate or lowered while feeding to stay inconspicuous. The Roundstone coastal village developed as a fishing port, focusing on herring and lobster catches. Before motorised boats arrived, the village was a hub for sail-powered fishing vessels. At one point, Roundstone also had a salt production economy on the coastal flatlands. Today, the village hosts an annual regatta featuring boat races. Vanad Head Lighthouse sits on a rocky promontory, guiding shipping along the north coast. The Foghorn system was a compressed air siren capable of penetrating thick mists for miles. Lighthouse keepers and their families lived in isolated cottage. Its light pattern consists of 2 white flashes in quick succession every 10 seconds. Iron bars on the lantern windows protected the light from storm debris. During World War II, it served as a secret signalling point for Allied convoys entering Irish waters. Clonmines was initially established as a port town. Its Augustinian priory featured architectural elements that combined religious and military functions. The street looked like a planned urban development, though the outskirts show more ad hoc growth. Over time, Clonmines' harbour silted up, leading to economic decline and eventual abandonment. Mass graves found outside the settlement suggest outbreaks of plague or periods of conflict. Kilkenny's walls once had 6 gates, each controlling entry and linked to specific trades or tradespeople. The twisting River Nore runs through the streets. A functioning mill near the centre shows the continuity of local industry. Underground tunnels and passages connect old merchant buildings, though some are now closed or sealed. Leather tanning and shoemaking thrived here, with several workshops still surviving. The city also produced illuminated manuscripts, some of which are preserved in museums. Kilkenny's well-known residence includes one of the country's oldest formal gardens, redesigned in the 18th century. Its Great Hall retains oak panelling carved by skilled woodworkers of the period. Several stone gargoyles also function as spouts, a practical measure intended to protect the structure from water damage. The Wicklow Mountains form the largest continuous upland area in Ireland, built mainly of granite bedrock fractured by glacial erosion. The terrain includes high peaks, narrow valleys, and several corrie lakes. Mining for lead and copper once took place here, and the remains of old works and spoil heaps are still present. Extensive blanket bogs support specialised plants such as sphagnum moss and several insect-eating species. Forested glens contain oak, holly, and birch, which represent what was once a wider native woodland. The region supports Ireland's rarest butterfly, the pearl-bordered fritillary. European hedgehogs live within the forest undergrowth, feeding on insects and using dense vegetation for shelter. These animals have up to 7,000 stiff, sharp spines that protect them when they curl into a tight ball. Their spines are modified hairs made of keratin, and they shed and regrow them throughout life. Hedgehogs rely on a strong sense of smell and hearing, which helps compensate for limited eyesight. They are primarily nocturnal and forage for insects, slugs, worms, and small vertebrates. During winter, they hibernate, slowing metabolism and surviving on stored fat. They build nests in leaf litter or under logs, sometimes preparing several and rotating between them during hibernation. European hedgehogs are occasionally seen near Powerscourt Waterfall, where moist conditions support plentiful insect prey. It is the highest in the country, with water dropping about 121 metres over tall cliffs. It is part of the Glensulan River, which moves through a valley formed over long periods of glaciation. This feature lies within the Powerscourt estate, where the grounds were planned for viewing and practical estate use. Nearby, Lough Tay, often called the Guinness Lake, offers another magnificent view in the area. This body of water lie in a corrie near the shore and create a subtle sparkle in certain light. Its dark water comes from a high concentration of peat particles held in suspension from bogs in the nearby uplands, giving the lake an opaque tone. The white sand along the margin was imported from a coastal beach to imitate the creamy top of a pint of Guinness. Because of its acidity, linked to peat inputs, the lake supports very little aquatic vegetation. The catchment area is dominated by blanket bog, which acts as a filter and keeps the water unusually clear despite its coloration. The outflow continues to Caraway Stick Waterfall, connecting the lake to a steep freshwater channel below. The current moves through a grooved granite channel, producing a clear course that funnels water into tight, forceful drops. It sits within Glen Malure, the longest U-shaped valley in Ireland and Britain, where exposed rock faces show evidence of past ice erosion in cross-section. During dry summers, the flow can diminish to a light stream or stop altogether, so its appearance varies through the year. Blessington Lakes on the western edge of the Wicklow Mountains are an artificial reservoir created by a dam on the River Liffey. They formed when farmland was intentionally flooded for water management and power generation. The lake bed still holds remnants of old roads and farm buildings now underwater, preserving physical traces of the area that once existed there. Red foxes hunt along the wide shoreline wetlands, taking advantage of amphibians, rodents and birds that gather at the water's edge. They have a dense fur coat that varies in colour, often showing reddish tones with a white-tipped tail. Female foxes, called vixens, care for litters of up to 7 cubs in dens hidden underground or in thick vegetation. Cubs are born blind and helpless, opening their eyes after about 2 weeks, and soon begin exploring above ground. These animals communicate through a range of sounds, including barks, screams, and harsh geckering during social interactions. Their eyes have vertical pupils that support strong night vision, useful for hunting during early morning and evening hours. Red foxes are adaptable hunters, able to sprint, leap and swim to catch prey such as rodents, birds and other small animals. Kinsale Town has a harbour that accommodates large ocean-going vessels. The coastal waters include submerged archaeological areas with shipwrecks linked to early maritime trade routes. The town features raised foundations and streets designed to get rid of rainwater quickly. It has a fish market that trades in species such as skates and ling. Kinsale maintains one of Europe's few remaining fish curing yards where curing methods continue in use. A network of laneways once enabled covert traders to move goods without detection. Charles Fort overlooks the harbour and operated as a barrier and observation post for many years. It is a 17th century star fort, especially designed to withstand cannon fire. Its angled bastions allowed defenders to direct overlapping gunfire across every approach by land or sea. The layout minimised blind spots and maximised defensive coverage. The fort includes underground tunnels and extensive barracks built to house large numbers of troops during military operations. These internal systems supported long-term defence and rapid movement between strategic positions. Ballycotton Black Lighthouse features a unique triangular prism profile, unusual among Irish lighthouses. It employs a multifaceted lens system, engineered to intensify its beam toward hazardous shoals. The foghorn operates at low frequencies, detectable more than 30 kilometres offshore, providing critical warnings during poor visibility. Nearby, the MV Alta shipwreck is intertwined with offshore reefs and is now referenced on navigation charts used by mariners. The wreck remains fixed on submerged rocks where tidal flows generate intense vortex currents. Over time, its steel hull has turned into a stable surface for rare cold water corals to grow. Divers report unusual magnetic interference around the structure, causing compass readings to swing unpredictably. Fishermen caution that tangled nets and strong water movement make the area hazardous to approach. Dalkey once operated as a quarantine point for ships arriving with infectious diseases before entering Dublin's main harbour. Its streets contain passageways, once used to move goods in secret and avoid taxes. The town has been used as a filming location for several movies and TV series, including fantasy productions. It also hosted a guild responsible for managing whale products, such as oil and bone, taken from stranded whales along the coast. Dalkey Islands near the town is reachable by kayak or seasonal ferries from Collymore. Its tidal range exposes broad rock platforms that support varied marine invertebrates. It also contains a rare colony of Mediterranean land snails, an unusual presence so far from their usual distribution. The island was once used for pilotage, where boat crews guided vessels safely into Dublin Bay. Donegal town developed from an early walled settlement, and the original parcel patterns remain detectable beneath later street plans. Its position at a harbour made it an important point for fish processing and salt curing industries. The town grew into a centre for hand-woven wool fabric production, traded across Northern Ireland. a series of Iron Age ring forts near the modern town indicate continuous occupation before urbanisation. The central square, known as the Diamond, is paved with stones reclaimed from quarries that also supplied building material across the region. It was created as a neutral ground where traders and officials could meet, offering a controlled space away from conflicts that often spilled into town streets. The open layout allowed clear negotiations and public announcements, giving different groups a place to resolve issues without escalating tension. Glendalough Valley works much like an amphitheatre, carrying sound across open ground, which likely supported outdoor religious gatherings. The two lakes differ in water chemistry. The upper lake is slightly acidic, while the lower one is close to neutral. This contrast influences the range of aquatic species found in each. Accounts say the monastery's founder selected the location with regard to earlier beliefs about ley lines regarded as significant at the time. The wooded area protects specialised limestone cliff mosses that depend on tightly controlled humidity and light conditions. Today, Glendalough is known for its monastic ruins gathered near the upper lake. They contain mortared niches carved into the walls, thought to have been used to store relics or sacred objects. Several stone carvings show hybrid motifs that combine Christian symbols with earlier Celtic artistic patterns. Its round towers were built with double shell stone walls, creating a hollow cavity that reduced weight and improved insulation. The doorway is positioned unusually high above ground, likely intended to limit flooding and prevent animals from entering. Human remains in this graveyard reveal burial practices that vary by social status. Some individuals were placed in well-constructed stone coffins, while others were buried carelessly. Red squirrels live throughout these forested ruins, often moving quietly along broken walls and nearby trees. Their bushy tails help them balance when jumping and provide warmth when curled around their bodies during cold weather. They chew hard nuts and seeds with incisors that grow continuously, keeping them sharp through regular gnawing. Their diet also includes mushrooms, berries, and sometimes bird eggs, which shows their ability to adjust when food is limited. As their warning calls, they use short, sudden vocalizations to alert others when a predator appears. During dry periods, they seek moisture from ponds, puddles, or wet leaves to stay hydrated. Their speed and agility allow them to vanish quickly, darting through branches or gaps in the stonework to avoid danger. Crookhaven is a small fishing village set around a sheltered inlet harbour. For many years it operated as a base for smuggling, relying on complex coastal caves and coves to move contraband without detection. Its tidal patterns create unusual underwater habitats that support rare shellfish and crustacean species. In the early 1900s, the village housed one of the first Marconi wireless telegraph stations, enabling radio communication with ships crossing the Atlantic. During that period, it became one of the busiest ports on the southwest coast. Dublin expanded over time, and parts of the River Liffey were redirected through customised channels to support its growth. Beneath the streets, excavations revealed an early crypt and tunnel systems from the Norman period, once used for drainage and access. The city's oldest pub has operated since the 18th century and remained open through major events, maintaining an unbroken business record. It includes one of Europe's few intact Georgian-era crescents, with original wrought iron balconies still in place. Dublin's early postal network began in discreet shops along side streets, using stamp designs created specifically for the region. Its castle once contained vaults used to hide illegal printing presses that distributed political pamphlets during periods of unrest. Some of the defensive walls include narrow openings, originally intended for arrows, later widened into gun loops when firearms became part of warfare. From here, Killiney Hill Obelisk can be seen, designed as a visual signal point, intended to alert the coast in the event of an invasion. Constructed from granite taken from nearby quarries, it was transported using early rail systems developed specifically for the project. Within the structure is a sealed chamber, long believed to hold a time capsule that has remained untouched since installation. During heavy rain, water runoff forms distinct erosion channels around the base, patterns that early survey records noted for their symbolic appearance. Dunlaugair developed as a purpose-built harbour, with breakwaters constructed from blocks engineered to withstand typhoons. Its early plans included a system of maintenance canals for vessels, later abandoned. The harbour once operated one of the first coastal wireless communication stations for maritime rescue coordination. A distinctive tidal pattern within the harbour forms current vortices used by anglers to target certain fish species. Photographs from the construction period show that the piers were initially built using imported Scandinavian timber selected for durability. The West Pier Lighthouse's green light is powered by a solar array installed to maintain its original appearance. The East Pier Lighthouse includes a concealed underground passage designed for emergency evacuation during severe weather. The Emery Celtic Cross is a tall stone monument with detailed interlaced knotwork carved on every side. It functions as a boundary marker and holds spiritual importance within the community. Its base is broad and heavily weathered, yet it remains structurally solid. The shaft narrows upward to a circular head that features ring patterns associated with Celtic design. Long-term exposure to the elements has revealed faint inscriptions near the lower section, though most are now difficult to interpret. Eurasian long-eared owls have been recorded roosting nearby, using the sheltered recesses of the structure for daytime cover. These owls are recognised by long ear tufts that create a sharp silhouette against the night sky. Their large forward-facing eyes offer unusually high visual acuity, allowing detection of small prey in near-total darkness. They are mostly nocturnal and spend daylight hours roosting tightly in dense conifers where they remain well concealed. Soft fringes along the wing edges reduce turbulence, enabling almost silent flight. While perched, they exhibit a noticeable head-bobbing movement, which is thought to support depth, perception, and precise distance judgment. Their low-pitched calls carry across forest clearings and are often heard during hunting. The Owen Carrow Viaduct's piers were constructed by driving whole oak trees, wrapped in sheep fleeces, deep into bog ground to stabilise the foundations. Its rail bed was designed with extra width, allowing carriages limited sway during strong winds, yet extreme gusts eventually overturned several coaches. The parapet was left partly unfinished to allow wildlife movement and reduce trapping during floods. After the wind disaster, reports of phantom train sounds during severe storms emerged, becoming part of later accounts about the viaduct. The Rock of Douarnenez once formed the backdrop for fierce power struggles, where attackers reportedly tunnelled under the walls to launch surprise assaults. Stories connected to the ruins describe ideas of portal gateways to the otherworld, with some visitors recounting unusual shifts in time perception while exploring the area. During intense thunderstorms, lightning regularly strikes the upper points of the rock, leaving scorch marks that remain visible long after each event. Hidden chambers at the base are said to have been used for secret councils or for holding high-value captives, though their full details are still unknown. Archaeological sonar scans have detected underground water channels thought to function as emergency routes or supply systems. The rock also provides nesting points for peregrine falcons, which raise chicks along the stone ledges close to the ruins. The Donegal Islands form an archipelago, with some inhabited and others uninhabited, each marked by terrain that ranges from cliffs to calm beaches. Communities across the islands maintain strong Gaelic language, along with long-held music and craft practices. The waters around them support varied marine life, including seals, seabirds, and fish stocks, vital to livelihoods. Weather shifts quickly, influencing rocky coastlines and microclimates. Tory Island, the westernmost with residents, is known for its artistic community and distinct dialect. It is the country's most remote inhabited island, with residents involved mainly in fishing and crafts. Tory Island Lighthouse marks hazardous waters and guides maritime traffic past the rocky coastline. It stands near the southern tip and remains fully operational under remote management. Westtown, which is the main settlement, contains a community centre, shops and workshops for weaving and painting. Tory also hosts an annual arts festival that draws visitors interested in music and visual art produced by island residents. Inishboffin's coastline near Tory includes submerged stone walls, once used to trap fish during high tide. As the tide recedes, old tidal mills become visible along the shore, previously operated to harness sea power for grinding grain. Arranmore Island is home to one of the region's most active Gaelic-speaking communities, where the language is used in everyday life. The coastline includes extensive sea caves that form sheltered points and support marine habitats. Its lighthouse operates with a rare compound lens system that adjusts light intensity based on weather conditions. The keeper's quarters are built directly into cliff formations. Lieb Garrow village hosts the island's main fish market, supplying buyers on there and the mainland through regular ferry transport. It is also a hub for community gatherings and music sessions. Cleuchor Beach on the east side is a nesting ground for rare terns and supports a tidal ecosystem influenced by freshwater springs. Common starlings thrive on the site, forming large murmurations that move in complex patterns at dusk. Their iridescent plumage shifts in colour depending on light angles, an optical effect used in communication. Starlings mimic bird calls as well as mechanical and human sounds, including car alarms and whistles. They probe the grass with sharp bills and detect underground insect movement through touch sensitivity. In cold conditions, starlings tighten their feather layers and huddle closely to conserve body heat. They bathe communally, splashing for several minutes to loosen dirt and parasites, often using rain puddles. Their diet is highly adaptable, ranging from small amphibians to larvae found in livestock dung, which supports survival during scarce periods. Galway's street layout integrates defensive walls that once doubled as raised platforms for trading. Its harbour was among the earliest to introduce hydro-powered cranes for unloading cargo. The dialect retains distinct loanwords linked to Basque and Catalan traders who operated through the port. The Spanish Arch previously contained a customs office, tasked with monitoring illicit shipping. Fishing rights were regulated by the city council using grazing rights maps dating from earlier administrative records. The Claddagh functioned as a separate district, with its own barred and independent judicial customs. Fishermen here use specialised boats with retractable keels, allowing launch and landing directly on sandy shores. Their cladder ring designs feature knot patterns recorded only in this region and recognised for precise craftsmanship. Its proximity to the Menlo estate created a long-term socio-political relationship. This structure was partially damaged by fire, but was quickly rebuilt, adding fire-resistant stone vaults across the basement level. It includes archaic carved stone gargoyles, functioning as waterspouts, each individually crafted rather than reproduced from a single design. Menlo's gardens in the castle once contained imported plant varieties brought through international trade routes. This is Ireland, a land of hidden wonders and remarkable architectural marvels. Now, if you don't want to miss the most unreal wonders of Nova Scotia, check out this video.